Hello guys, welcome back to Hanger 51. So I got a new offering today. I want to review the new Dynam PT-17. It's a new model for me, and it looked pretty cool, so I got myself one. And we're going to open the box. I'm going to do an unboxing video, I'm going to do a build video, and we're going to do a flight video on this one. So let's get a look at it first. Let me just turn it down here. Let's go over the specs. So it's a 1300 millimeter wingspan, or 51.2 inches. It's $209, guys. It's a pretty big airplane for $209. Yeah, plug and play. So yeah, it's a good deal. The length is 995 millimeters, or 39.2 inches. It uses 4 servos, 2 9-gram and 2 17-gram. It's a 4S bird, so you know, you're going to any 14.8. They recommend a 2600 milliamp battery and at least 25C. It has a 50 amp Skylord speed control. The motor is a BM 3527, 650 kV, and the flying weight with the 2600 battery is 2150 grams, or 75.8 ounces. So, so that, you know, that's a lot of airplane for $200. So, so let's open the box now. As you can see, this isn't my first Dynam product. Yeah, I got the FW190, I've got the C188, the Dusty crop hopper, and the jet, the ME262. So, and I have some others. So I'm not new to Dynam. I actually like Dynam. I think they make a very good product for the price. So for any of you guys that have never had a Dynam plane before, I'm going to let you know that there's a few things about Dynam. It's a modeler's airplane. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, it's going to take more than 8 screws to put it together. You're going to have to apply the decals. They're not going to come already on it. There might be a few bits here and there that you might need to glue. You're going to have to do a little work. But that $100 savings, because a plane, a 1300 millimeter size plane from anybody else is going to be in the $350 range, usually. For a plane that size, and this one's only $209. So, you know, so you got to work for it. You know, there's no free lunch, guys. so what you're going to get for your money is you're going to have to do a little more work. Not a lot of work, but a little more work. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you is the first Dynam plane I got, I believe, was the Focke-Wulf, and I opened the box and I saw exactly what I'm seeing here and what I'm showing you guys. It's just cardboard boxes, okay? And what my first impression was that, oh crap, you know, we're going to have all kinds of damage. It's not a big foam crate, you know, and I was very nervous about that. Well, I can tell you guys that none of my Dynam planes have come damaged. None of them. Not from shipping. I had one that had factory damage, but no shipping damage. It seems like a weird way to do it, but it's cheap, much cheaper, and that's where your savings comes from. And it works. Okay? So this isn't even a full box. It's just a divider. And this divider is protecting the fuselage, which is right here. So let me pull this out of the box. We're hung on the box next to it. And I'll be honest, I did take it out of the box to take this wrapper off of it because I wanted to, you know, I wanted to look at it. So the first thing I can tell you guys is that the foam quality of this is right along the same lines as FMS and Freewing. Okay, it has the same mold marks that those planes have. These tiny, tiny little flower mold injection marks. So they're using the same equipment to do this plane that FMS and Freewing use. You know, same technology. So So the quality of the foam is beautiful. Okay, it's almost undetectable that it's foam. The paint on it's nice and smooth. There's no shipping damage whatsoever, so the little cardboard box did work. You know, it's really well made to start off with. Everything looks really nice. It has this is the engine cowl is magnetic on, and they're very strong magnets. And in any other airplane, like my F-190 also had magnetics holding the cowl on. The only problem with this particular airplane is this engine has to weigh at least a pound, if not 2. I'm assuming that there's a lead ingot. Yeah. I can see it in here because they've got hot glue, which that may not work. We might have to change that. You know, Florida and hot glue they just don't mix. But there's a lead ingot in each one of these cylinders. Obviously, to get the CG right, they had to add, because it's got a very short nose. So they had add a lot of weight to it, and this thing's heavy. I mean, very heavy. So this might not stay on with just magnets. I think the weight is just going to be too much for it, and I think, you know, it's going to need some reinforcing. So I'm probably going to add a screw or two to it. I'll see. But I'm not real comfortable, especially flying it off grass, that this is going to stay put. My guess is I'm going to be bouncing down the runway on the grass, and this is going to find its way loose and off and into the prop. So I'm probably going to add a couple of screws to it. Now, I never had a problem with my 190. The cowl always stayed on, but it didn't have 2 pounds of weight hanging off of it. And that's the only reason I think it's going to be a problem, is all that weight. Other than that, I don't see it being a problem. So it's got a beautiful positive latch for the battery bay. Okay, so it actually so it locks in good. It's a metal, not plastic, release mechanism, and this is the lack of the battery hatch, we'll call it. I mean, it's obviously the cockpits. Now, I did notice that both of these windshields are loose. They're not very well glued, especially this one. So that's one of the things you're going to need to do. You're going to need to re-glue these just to secure them a little better. This one's pretty loose. This one's just loose in this front edge here. So I'll probably get a toothpick and wick a little glue under there and put that back down. The rest of it's on okay. And then the front one's going to pretty much need to be completely re-glued. But not a big deal. And then again, you know, this is, you know, some of the hobbying you have to do on a Dynam airplane. Usually that kind of stuff is not a problem, but there's going to be stuff that's just built into building this, and you're just going to have to, you know, that's your $100, $150 savings, is you're going to do a little work. So inside the battery bay here, it's very nice. This laser cut battery tray here looks a lot like FMS. You know, I'm just going to say it. You know, that's got FMS written all over it. So, you know, whether FMS made this for Dynam or there's the factory that makes it for both airplanes, you know, both Dynam and FMS. But this looks very much like an FMS laser cut battery tray. And when I say laser cut, it's not just laser engraved. It's also, you can tell that these holes and reliefs are laser cut. It's because there's burn marks. We got the two, these look like probably the two 17-gram servos here that are working the elevator and the rudder. And the two 9-gram servos are probably in the wing. Two real nice Velcro straps here. The wires are all marked what they are. It's for your install, and it comes with an XT60 connector. So that's nice. And you can see your Skylord 50 amp speed controls right here. So very nice, guys. I'm going to tell you. You know, all of these screw attachment points are solid. There's embedded. They look like plastic, but that's okay. They're plastic embedded into the foam captures for the screws that hold the wing on. The paint's really nice. Very little bleed marks on the paint. Just a little bit, but not, you know, from 5 feet away, unrecognizable. So yeah, so that looks really nice, guys. It's a good looking airplane, and I don't know if it shows it now. It doesn't. We'll get to that. All right, so that's the fuselage. Nice positive latch. I like that. You know, it's definitely, you know, latched in good. So that's fantastic. All right, so let me set that up over here and make sure that that heavy nose weight isn't going to topple it over. Okay, so let's see what's in this box. I don't know what's in. It looks like all the hardware is in here. I don't know why there's a hole in this box. I know when I first opened it there was a couple of pieces poking out of the hole, but I don't think these caused the hole. So what we have is we've got the propeller, and it's a 13.6 propeller. Got steel landing gear, reinforced, welded, chromed, collars for the inside of the wheels. Very nice. These are the wing struts. These are all aluminum wing struts. They're not plastic, they're not wood, they're actually aluminum. Aluminum cut and bent wing struts. That's very nice. And then these are the landing gear wheel pants, for lack of a better word. I forget what they actually call these, skirts maybe, that cover the landing gear. A couple of wheels. See, and this is what I'm talking about. You got to work a little bit, so you got to assemble all this stuff. You know, not a big deal, but you know, a little extra work. The tail wheels in here. They do give you 3 tubes of glue. You know, for gluing. I'm not sure what we're going to glue yet, but at least we have enough glue to reattach our canopies. Got a screwdriver included. That's nice. So it comes with. FMS used to do that all the time. Bunch of little screws. Washers. I'm assuming those are for the control horns. Okay, so we're going to have to screw all the control horns on. Yep, and there was an extra one here. So yeah, so all the going to have to put all the control horns on, the ailerons, elevator, rudder, all that. And then the tail wheel has to be. Now usually what the tail wheel is it's just, there's already a spot for the tail wheel to go, and you're basically going to loosen a set screw, set the tail wheel up. There's a flat already ground on the on the tail wheel. You index the flat spot to where the screw is and just tighten it up. It self-aligns. No big deal there. I'm not sure what this. Oh, this has got to be for the landing gear. This big plastic plate here is the landing gear, and then these 2 plastic rails here are just cosmetic steps that go in the rear of the fuselage. Here's some of the decals you have to install. There's 2 here for the instrument panel. Okay, so that you're going to have to take care of. Now here's something that the new Dynam, because Dynam's definitely stepped their game up for sure, guys. In the old Dynam planes, all 3 of these planes, well, no, I take that back. Dusty didn't come with any lights. But the Focke-Wulf came with lights, and the 262 came with lights that were unusable. And when I say that, it was a light stuck in the wing with a wire. There was no plug on the end of the wire. It was just cut off wire, and it was up to you to figure it out. There was nothing in the manual of how to do the lights at all. Nothing. So it was completely up to you to figure out what voltage you needed. You know, it was. I burned all the lights out trying to figure out what it needed. I finally got one to light up with a single cell battery, and it was so dim that I thought, well, geez, they can't have expected you to like that, so I must be undervolting it. Let's try it. So I went to 2 cell battery, and the 2 cell burnt it out. So the single cell, lit it very dimly, and the 2-cell burnt it out. So that was, you know, complete afterthought and horrible. And so I was very disappointed with the lights on these two models. And but this one comes with an actual light controller with plugs on it. So I have to assume, since it came with a light controller, that the wings that have the lights in it have plugs on the end of the lights, and it's all figured out for you. You're going to plug this into your receiver, and the lights are going to work. And I almost want to say that this controller may just work off the transmitter, so you may be able to change. You may be able to change the lights from the transmitter. If not, I believe you can set this. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw on somebody else's channel that the lights can be either straight on, blinking, or alternate blinking. I believe are 3 of the options that you may be able to use. And I'll cover that part of the lights in either in the build or the flight review, because I'll have them plugged in and working, and we'll go over what this light controller does. But for sure the lights are going to work. That's a big, for me, that's a big upgrade for Dynam. I was so disappointed that the lights didn't work in either of these airplanes. I got to tell you, it was a big disappointment for me. But I'm super excited that we now have lights that are going to work. So kudos to Dynam for that. I'm very, very excited about that. Okay, so here are the decals. These are definitely peel and stick decals. I'm pretty sure. Actually, you know what? Maybe not. These might be water slides. I'm trying to get a corner up here. Yeah, they're peel and stick. So these are all just peel and stick decals. Very nicely done. Again, you know, the money you're saving, you got to work for it. No free lunch. So this is one of the things I'm talking about. You got to do some gluing. You're going to do some decaling. So you guys have to decide, guys, if doing a little extra work like this is something you like to do, it's fun or whatever, and is that worth saving $100 or more? You know, if the answer is yes, then you've got the right airplane. There's an instruction sheet here. Mostly this is about the speed control, how to set it up for different amp rates, where the battery cutoffs at, things like that. This is all about the speed control. Okay, so now the next box. Let's open this one and see what we got. Definitely opens at this end. Oh, here we go. It's got one of these little locking mechanisms. So what do we got in here? We have a few things. Let's pull all that. Okay, so this looks like, I think, the top wings, because the lights are in it. Let me put this on the floor over here. So yeah, so here are the top wings. Each one's individually bagged. Again, there's no damage at all. No shipping damage, no package damage. So the cardboard boxes work, guys. You don't have to have an airplane in a foam container. Let me tell you something. Think about it. You know, they foam inject the airplane to make the plane. They're foam injecting the container to put the plane in, which is basically a negative of the airplane. That's got to cost some money, you know, to make a mold to put the airplane in. So, you know, for it to come in a cardboard box, got to be a savings there. So that's how they pass the savings on to you. So I think that's wonderful. Now this, I don't know what this does yet, and we'll cover it when I figure it out, but it's got quite a warp to it. So this might be one of those things that you have to model. Maybe it's supposed to be warped, and if it is, then it's perfect. But I have a feeling it's probably not, and we're going to have to probably work this a little bit to get it flat again. And it probably, because there's no kind of magnets or anything, so it probably glues on. So we'll get it massaged back into place, and then when we glue it, okay, so I already found out where it goes, and it hides the wires to the wires for the lights. The lights are out here on the wingtips. The wire goes down here. You're going to put the two wings together with a spar, and the light's going to run through there, well, actually, the light runs out here, and it goes down the one of the aluminum wing skids, or the wing mounts. So you have to run that down the mount into the fuselage. And then this piece here is going to cover up the rest of that, the spar and part of the light. So, and it's not supposed to be warped like that. So that's just a little something we're going to have to work on. We're going to have to straighten out that warpage before we glue it to make sure it stays on and stays nice and flat. I'm looking at the wings for warpage or damage. This wing looks like it might have a slight warp to it. Let me look here. No, it seems pretty straight. So yeah, no damage on either wing. I mean, no damage at all. They're perfect. Very nice. The foam's beautiful, guys. The texture on the top of the wing, I'm assuming, because it's a fabric-covered wing, that this is supposed to look like fabric. It's right on the seams. And it kind of does look like fabric. So I'm sure that was their intention, and that come out great. It looks good. So so that's great. I think there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm assuming this probably has the bottom wings in it. So let's take a look at this one. Yep. And it looks like, I guess, oh, okay. Well, hang on a second. Do the top wings have the ailerons in them and the bottom wings have the lights, or is it the other way around? We'll have to figure that out. So this has the ailerons in it. There's only one set of, a pair of ailerons. There's no connectors to have 4 ailerons. There's only 2. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking this is the lower wing. Yeah, this is the lower wing. So the ailerons are in the lower wing, and the lights are in the upper wing. So yeah, so this is nice. This looks good. Here's the spar for the wing. I believe that's going to go in the lower wing. Yep, this goes in the lower wing. I don't know what spar goes in the upper wing. Let me look back in my bag of bits and see if there's a small spar in here. No, I don't see a small spar in here. It did look like there's a relief here for a spar of some kind, but maybe not. Or maybe it's still in the box here. Maybe we're going to find that here in a minute. Yeah, so again, I don't see any, this wing looks like it might have some warpage to it, a little bit. So we might have to massage that out a little bit. It looks like it has a slight bit of warpage in it. But no dents, no dings, no crush. Nothing's crushed, dented, dinged, nothing. So, but possibly a little warpage. So we'll address that on the build. So that's really cool. All right. And this giant spar, but that obviously goes wingtip to wingtip. So that's huge. All right. And then there's only one more. Oh, here's the small spar right here. So here's the upper wing spar right here. That's the one that goes on the top, and then you glue it in with that little plate. So that's good. And then we only have the one box left, which is going to be your tail feathers. Elevator, vertical and horizontal stabilizer, rudder elevator, the whole bit. and I'm wondering if we're going to have to glue hinges in or not, because we got an awful lot of glue. So I'm surprised that we got 3 bottles of glue, unless there's a lot of gluing to do. So let's see what we got in here. So the rudder's wrapped up really nice. The vertical stabilizer. It's got bubble wrap all around it. Foam hinge. Definitely need to put the control horn on it. Let's see if we can get this out of the bag and take a quick look at that. Looks like the bag is stuck to the rudder a little bit. Let's see if we can get that off there without pulling any paint off. Make sure that happens. Yep, there it goes. Yep, that's fine. No damage, no paint loss. Everything's perfect. Beautiful job. Nice, nice foam hinge. Captured plastic, hold down for the tongue and grooved on the front. Stick it in the fuselage, pull it down, and put a screw through the bottom. So that's standard procedure. And same thing with the horizontal. It's got a reinforcement in it here, and dual control. So there's a control horn on each side of it. So no flimsy bent wire in here to make them work together. There's actually 2 push rods coming off the servo. It's going to operate each elevator independently and can be adjusted independently. And again, foam hinges that just need a little loosening up. And again, there's no damage. So I have absolutely no crush damage, no impact damage anywhere on this plane. And it came in a cardboard, literally, a cardboard box. So, do we really need these planes in shipping, foam shipping containers? Apparently we don't. This seems to be working pretty darn good. And it's got to be a huge savings to Dynam to not have to have them, vacuum mold a foam crate to put the airplane in. Think about it, So I'm going to just put all the boxes back in here to clean this up. So guys, I'm really impressed. I got to tell you, this is a big step up from the Dynam of olden days, because just the lights alone for me is a huge deal, because, like I said, there was nothing in the instructions that the plane even had lights, let alone how they work. And this definitely has already wired up, plugs on the end, a light controller. So they definitely intended you to use the lights, have the lights, and hook up the lights. And for me, that's huge. That was always a sore spot for me on the Dynam planes. I'm just a light guy. I like the lights. I think all planes should have lights on them. I really do. I think the lights make a huge difference in how the plane looks, and I'm just a huge fan of the lights. Okay, guys, that's the end of my unboxing. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that takes away any of the surprises that you might have thought different of ordering this plane. I do want to touch on one more thing. On the picture on the website, it shows there's 2 pilots in the plane, and it does not come with pilots. I am going to talk to them about that. That's a little pet peeve of my own. I don't really want to call it false advertising, but it does kind of imply the fact that the plane comes with pilots. The plane does not come with pilots. So I am going to talk to them about that. Maybe get them to take that picture down, put a different one up. But other than that, I do have one defective decal, so that one's not going to go on the plane right now. And I'm going to talk to them about that as well, see if we can get that straightened out. It's one of the, you see the 607 here, and it's supposed to split right down the red and yellow stripe in the back of the plane. Well, there's also another long U.S. Is it the U.S. Navy? Or is it Air Force? I don't know. I forget. It's but the same problem. One of the decals, they're both identical. It's a U.S. Navy, yeah, and they're both identical. So the white is at the wrong end of one of them. So if you put that one on, the white lettering is going to be, the black lettering is going to be in the red, and at the end of that long thing, the white letters are going to be on the yellow, which you won't be able to see them very well. It's just not going to look right. So I'm going to talk to them about getting that decal corrected as well. But other than that, everything was fine so far. And if there's any other issues, we'll cover them as we go. All right? So thanks for watching. Comment to the bottom. Like me here on YouTube, like me on Facebook, and we'll catch you on the next video, which is going to be the build. And we're going to get to that right after this. So talk to you later. Bye-bye.